Great customer experience, great employee experience. This is what we are, as organizations, are trying to accomplish. But what happens when workforce management gets it wrong? What happens? What is the cost of not having workforce management at the table? Many times organizations, they have this goal of delivering amazing customer experiences or having great culture around employee experience. But they're struggling to really figure out, how do we have great customer experience and how do we do it and have operational efficiency at the same time? How do we have great employee experience, great customer experience? How do we not sacrifice having a great culture for having great customer experience? Well, this is a song and dance of workforce management, and we want to talk about that in this episode. So welcome to WFM Tipsy Thursdays. I am your show host, Juanita Coley, the Contact Center Whisperer, the CEO and founder of Solid Rock Consulting. And I am joined in this episode by none other than the amazing Mark Williams, Workforce Manager. Thank you so much for joining us in this week's episode. I'm super excited to dive in. Again, you are known as our ATG, our all-time great, right? So you've been on the show, a repeat guest. And so I'm super excited to have you back this week on WFM Tipsy Thursdays. Listen, if you have not already received the book, WFM Go Beyond, that's what's guiding our conversations all year as we talk about going beyond from the tactics into becoming a transformative leader. And so I'm super excited for you guys to take a journey with us this year as we go through these topics. This week, Mark, we are talking, like you heard me mention, we're talking about the cost of not getting workforce management right and not having them a part of that conversation when we're talking about customer experience and employee experience. In your opinion, what's the importance of understanding the stakes? Why is it so important that individuals, organizations understand the importance of workforce management when they're talking about that customer experience and employee experience?
Well, I think the importance of workforce management and all that is that's usually where the junction between strategy and tactical come together, because it's up to workforce management to make sure that whatever has been planned for is something that actually is being implemented and it's actually being successful. With workforce is where it starts to get real.
Yes.
It's no longer theoretical. Now it's actually happening, and you need to have a strong, workforce department, workforce people that not only are involved in some of that planning, forecasting, scheduling, all of that, but also the implementation to make sure that what you wanted to happen, expected to happen, is actually occurring. Because that's also, that's definitely going to lead into customer experience and employee experience, as long as you have planned accordingly, for that. So yes, so workforce management is definitely kind of where the rubber hits the road.
I absolutely love, Mark, that you said workforce management is where it gets real. Right? Like, this is where we really kind of see if this theory, right, about, oh, you're going to implement AI, right, or you're going to shave off 30%, actually shows up as an impact to our workforce, right? So workforce is where it gets real. I got to steal that. I'm going to put that on the shirt. Like, y'all don't be surprised, okay, if I'm walking around with a shirt that says workforce management is where it gets real. Now, Mark, all right, I'm going to quote you like 2 or 3 times. I'm going to say, Mark said, workforce is where it gets real. But after that, it's mine, okay?
Sure. Hey, as long as I get my beak wet a little bit on that deal, I'm fine with it.
We gotta create a shirt that says workforce is where it gets real. It's so true though, right? Workforce management is where we get to see the execution of all of the strategy, the execution, we get to see the benefit. It's one thing to say, okay, well, we're gonna create this customer experience, or we're gonna implement this tool, or we're gonna do this. But workforce management is where we get to see the benefits of that. Okay, are people doing this? Did we see a 30% reduction, like you said we were going to see in contacts and interactions? How is the employee now handling these harder interactions? A great example of this is one of the things that I always try to prep organizations on, when, especially in this age right now of AI, like you can't have one conversation without us talking about AI. And so one of the things I try to prep organizations for, especially again, when we're talking about AI and workforce management, is as you implement AI in your organization, many times there's this myth and this concept that, oh, average handle time is going to go down. Like, I'm going to save time on AHT because I have AI implemented, right? And many times what we're seeing, what the data is showing, is that average handle time is actually going up. How is that possible, Juanita? How is it possible that AHT is going up if we've now implemented AI? Well, because AI is now handling, depending on what the use case was for AI, you put AI in to deflect, let's say, volume, right, or interactions. And so AI is deflecting or alleviating a certain percent of those easy calls, right? If your agents are no longer taking those super low hanging fruit calls, easy calls, and they're handling the more complex calls that requires them to deduce and reason and all of those different things, it makes sense that their average handle time would go up, right? They're no longer handling inquiry calls. They're handling problem solving, critical thinking types of calls. And so as an organization, you have to prepare and plan for that. And if you're only thinking about, oh, I'm going to implement AI because I want to reduce calls and this is going to drive my AHT down, what you're probably going to see is the inverse of that, which means you didn't plan for that. So it's super important. I love that you said workforce management is where it gets real. All right. It brings it into reality. And again, you may see AHT go down depending on what the use case was for why you implemented AI. Hey, are you ready to identify how well your workforce management strategies align to your CX, customer experience, EX, employee experience, or your business profitability goals? Well, take our free 5-minute assessment at WFMGoBeyondScore.com and get your personalized results and recommendations delivered directly to your inbox. WFMGoBeyondScore.com. See you there. Yeah. And so on the heels of that question then, Mark, what are some of the most common reasons or common ways poor WFM design impacts customer experience?
Well, definitely. I mean, workforce management design has a lot to do with. I always look at it as it's much more all encompassing than often we think of with workforce management. In my experience, workforce management was also tasked with everything, especially if it's call volume, the call routing side of things. Setting up the IVRs, setting up the skilling of the agents, and then along with that, and a lot of the reporting parts of it. So you really saw it from beginning to end to know whether or not what everyone was expecting to happen was actually occurring, and to be able to course correct when you see that something is not going correct. One thing I did want to mention, what you were talking about with AI, is that I kind of equate this to, and maybe again, that's one of the things of being a more, I'll call it seasoned, workforce management person. I've been around for a little while. It's very similar to me to what we saw with the implementation of self-serve and IVRs. So, for a long time, pretty much, other than press one for this department, two for that department, that was about all the IVRs were doing to try to get the calls maybe to the right group of people. Then along came, say you have a credit card. Well, now you can activate it, in the IVR. You can self-serve, or if you want to
Right.
hear your balance. A lot of these easier type things suddenly became self-serve in the IVR. And like you said, the harder stuff then is what was dropping out of the IVR to the agents.
Right.
So I think if we take what we learned from that experience and now apply that same thing to AI, because I think the experience is going to be similar. Like you said, handle times actually, volume might go down, but handle time is going to go up because it's a much more difficult calls that are getting through. And this is just me, I don't necessarily believe that the AI, when it comes to the tools that the agents themselves will have at their disposal, is going to be enough to offset the complexity, of the calls that are coming in. I've seen lots of demos, and some of these things look miraculous. I have yet to see it actually in practice, to where it actually works that way. So, but anyway, so workforce just really needs to be engaged in a lot of things that you don't necessarily think of as workforce management. They need to be engaged when it comes to things like training and recruiting, and maybe I'm going to even throw out there marketing, maybe not because we're going to go out and make the commercials, but we need to know that it's happening. So anything that can impact the business is going to impact workforce management. And I have said for years that workforce should be in the room. I'm not just talking about some senior director that is all kind of theoretical but doesn't really know how
The
things really
impacts.
work. There needs to be, probably at a senior manager level, someone who lives and breathes it every day that can be in the room to at least raise their hand occasionally to go, that sounds great, but it's not really the way things work. Otherwise, the business is going to get surprises. They'll be like, well, this sounded great. Why isn't it working? And then workforce comes in and says, let me point out to you what's kind of going wrong here. And it's like, well, why didn't we know that to begin with? It's like, well, you didn't ask us. So anyway, I've always said that I really believe that workforce at a certain level needs to be part of a lot of conversations that people always don't think are workforce related.
Yeah. And I love, Mark, how you so appropriately called out. I say it like this: workforce management should be in everybody's business. Right? Like workforce should be in IT's business. Workforce should be in marketing's business. Workforce should be in HR's business. Workforce should be in operations business. Workforce should be in everybody's business. And I'll never forget when I worked at United Healthcare, right? Like I was in everybody's business. I was over in the marketing people business. I was over in HR business. I was in the IT department. I know that people was tired of me. They was like, ma'am, don't you got work to do? I am. That's why I'm over here talking to y'all, right? Because when you run that marketing campaign, I need to know, okay, you're running this out to 300 something million members. How many contacts am I expecting to come back from that?
Yep.
Because then I need to be, yes, you're running, you think that, oh, I'm just running out a marketing campaign, or I'm just letting them know about, their benefit cards, or I'm just letting them know, hey, the bill is off schedule for the month and right? You're sending out a communication. I need to know, of that 3,000 people you're going to send that to, how many people am I expecting to, is this a 1-for-1 ratio, or is this a 1 for every 500 people are going to call back in and ask about billing or ask about this coupon or this discount? What are you expecting the opt-in rate or the callback rate to be on this mailer that you're sending out or this message that you're sending out? That's marketing, right? IT. I'm in IT's business because, hey, if you were changing something in telephony or you're launching a new system or whatever the case may be, and it has the potential to take my agents down, or it's customer impacting, right? And it's going to do something with the website, and chat on the website is going to be down, or the customer portal is going to be down, or whatever the case may be. That's going to drive traffic into the contact center, whether it's on the phone, whether it's an email, whatever the other channel is. Just like, think about when you're driving on the road, right? And one lane is down and they start to detour traffic. Well, that lane is going to back up because I used to have 3 lanes. Now I only have 2 lanes because you've closed 3 of them, right? So it's going to be backed up in these 2 lanes. And so if I haven't accounted for that from an IT perspective, I'm just going to close these 3 lanes, and the portal is down, chat is down, and this is down because I'm revamping something from a CRM perspective. Well, you best believe email is going to blow up and phone is going to blow up, right? Because these are now where you're diverting traffic to. And I need to understand that, right, as the workforce person, so I can say, hey, I need to put more people on these channels, or have we considered upping our trunking capacity, or have we considered, like, all these different things, right? Because usually when we work in these silos and we're experts in our particular scope of influence, whether it's marketing, IT, HR, we're experts and we're geniuses there. And so we're considering the thing. right? But the thing is never the thing until we look at the bigger picture. Right. And so
Yeah.
we have to understand the impacts, which is why I think the design of workforce management is so, so critical. So I love that you honed in on like workforce got to have more than just a seat at the table. They got to be in the room and they got to be an active participant in these conversations so that, like you so appropriately said, understand when workforce gets real. Hey, transformative leader, listen, have you grabbed your copy of WFM Go Beyond? Go and grab your copy at WFMGoBeyond.com. WFM Go Beyond is sectioned into two sections. Section 1 is the foundation and the fundamentals of workforce management. The core 4, you've heard me talk about this. Data gathering, forecasting, scheduling, intraday. But section 2 is the part that I get super excited about, especially for 2025, because we are pushing and encouraging and challenging leaders to go beyond and push into transformative impact. And section 2 is going to do that to help you understand how you tie your WFM strategy into your CX initiatives, your EX initiatives, and business profitability goals. So if you're an operational leader, executive, a WFM leader that has a operations efficiency goal, okay, and you want to drive transformative impacts, WFM Go Beyond is your resource. So go to WFMGoBeyond.com and grab your copy today. Bye.
And one of the things that I've also found that can be the hardest to, I'll use the word, to train some of these other departments on is that you need a certain amount of time and notice. You can't have a marketing guy that calls up and says, "Oh, you said you wanted to know when we were doing something. Well, we did it, and you'll probably see the
Now you
impact
know.
tomorrow." It's like, so I told you, and it's like, okay, well, but if this is going to be something that's going to have a lasting impact, I probably needed to know 3 months ago,
Right.
because if we have to increase staffing, it takes, there's recruiting, there's training, there's all, you know, we don't usually hire amoebas that just divide and multiply. I mean,
Right.
these are people that we have to making sure they understand that not only what the impacts are, but the lead time that workforce needs to make sure that we're prepared, and that the powers that be, especially like in finance, understands that when you're training and carrying people for that ahead of the actual impact, yes, there is going to be additional cost, because, but again, people don't just magically suddenly appear and the cost doesn't hit the ledger on that day, but the reverse of that is, what is the cost of not
Inaction.
getting planned ahead of time, and now here comes all the volume, you don't have the people, and then customer experience, employee experience, all of that goes right down the tubes because everything's backed up, and it's like, well, we told you this was going to happen. It's like, yeah, but you told me yesterday. you know you didn't give me time to plan for it. So it's not just getting uh, getting them to know that workforce needs to be involved, but also the fact that there needs to be a certain amount of, as much as they can, lead time.
Yes. Come on. You better preach here, Mark. You better come on and talk. You hear me? Like, I absolutely love that. It's not just about the notification. It's also about the lead time, because you have to give workforce in the organization time to mobilize. So we have to be able to say, hey, yes, this is what's happening. And in order for, us to be staffed appropriately, HR needs a forward lead time to recruit right amount of people, right? And then out of those people who we recruit, we already know from data and history that only 80% are going to make it through the training class. So I need to recruit more than what I actually need if I need those people to actually be live in bodies, butts, and seats on the phones, right? And so you need that lead time. It's not just about the notification, which if you have a workforce management person that's not only a seat at the table, but in the room and understand the nuances of all of these different things, they can say, yes, that sounds great in theory. Yeah, I understand that's what we're aiming for. I understand that's the big picture goal, but this is methodically how we have to execute on that. So I absolutely love that. This has been such an amazing conversation, Mark. Listen, if the people want to find you, let the people know where they can find you and what's next for you. What's coming up big next for you?
Well, you can usually always find me on LinkedIn. That's probably where I have a presence, you might say, so I can always be reached there. I'm actually going to the SWPP conference this year, so for the first time, I'm going to be down there. I'm really looking forward to actually meeting probably a lot of the people that I interact with on LinkedIn and all things workforce management. So, but yeah, I'm always WFM Labs too. I'm going to put in a plug for them as well. That I'm participate with that as well, which is a great resource for all things workforce management. So yeah, I'm always available. Like I said, I've got a lot of experience that I'm always willing to share with anybody, and anytime I can add any value to, or even just my opinion on things, I'm more than happy to do.
Well, thank you so much, Mark, for coming to grace us. That was absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for being our guest on this week's WFM Tipsy Thursdays. How epic was that, guys? Like, again, chef's kiss for all of the gems that Mark dropped on this week's episode about the importance of having a strategic WFM design, right? Unless we have that design, because workforce management is, like he so appropriately said, where it gets real, right? It sounds good in theory when you're talking about your HR things or your IT things, your operational things or your marketing things. That's great. And you're expert in that lane. But the reason it's so important that you have a strategic WFM design is because we're viewing it from so many different angles. And so I thought that was absolutely chef's kiss. Also, I loved how he began to talk through why it's super important, right? That workforce management is not only having a seat at the table, but they're in the room, not just from a director perspective, but you have people in the room who understands how the things actually work, so that they understand, okay, yeah, if you do this, then this is what's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen. They can kind of help guide you on helping to come up with those actual solutions for real world practicality implications, or execution rather. I'm just so amazed that we are able to have such deep and rich conversations every week over week. And again, we're using WFM Go Beyond as the guide to guide us through these conversations. We go into deeper conversation in the book. So if you have yet to grab your copy of the book, make sure you go to WFMGoBeyond.com, grab your copy, and you already know what to do. Until next time, go be great and let's make impact. See you guys soon. Bye.